Oh, there you are. Welcome to the show. Hello, hello, hello. January 29th. Almost almost at the end of January, and where I am at least it was 7 degrees today. So God, I love global warming. It's brilliant. I got nothing bad to say about it. As long as there's no snow, I love it. Yeah, so I got a few things to talk about today. Some weird stuff in the news. As I've been trying to do lately, I'm going to avoid the election cycle stuff because there's no point. If I talk about it, it just gets throttled. So no point. I'm just going to stay away from it. What's up, Joe? You're at work, eh, buddy? Well, I'm at work too, kind of. Except at least you're getting paid for your work and I get nothing. Takes me away from Baldur's Gate 3, which is the game I've been playing lately to the tune of a lot of time. I think I'm at about 2 days worth of playing, like literal hours of playing. So stupid addictive games. Yeah. Well, today I'm going to talk about that little thing that happened on X with little Tay Taylor Swift, some deep fakes, fun stuff. I'm like, oops. I mean, it's bound to happen. I'm sure there's lots of deep fakes out there, but these ones went kind of viral a little bit before X put a stop to it. So the deep fakes are getting better, and the players are out to play. And by the players, I mean the bad players. And the game is to destroy free speech and places like X. So that's what they're doing, I think. But we'll talk about that. We'll discuss and see what you think. You can smash in the comments what you think about it. If you agree with me, if you disagree, all that. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about, and this isn't politics, even though it's a political figure. We're going to talk about Mr. Trump and his civil suits and that $83 million suit or judgment against him. God, civil suits are a joke. What is this? I don't know. Is it attacking for the destruction of a man, or what is this? I don't get it. But we'll talk. We'll talk about it. Good timing for all that, by the way. Also, pharma price wars. So big pharma's, well, I shouldn't say big pharma's doing it because they wouldn't do this, but the government are imposing some restrictions on big pharma to bring down prices of some of the main drugs, which is great. I mean, finally, at least the government's doing something, or seemingly doing something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. It seems like they're all in bed with each other, but they are doing this thing, and it could result, or should result, in cheaper drugs for, and by drugs I mean medicines, for all you folks out there that need medicines. So, what's that? Yes, election stuff is Fight Club. Right now it's Fight Club. Listen, you do not talk about it, all right? Right now they just throttle you down. There's no point. It's just 0 point, especially for a channel my size. Is nothing. What am I going to do? I can't fight it. The only way I can fight that kind of thing is if there was a lot of shares going on, things like that. If you just shared the content and whatnot, then yeah, I mean, then I could kind of say what I wanted a little bit within reason and, and fight the algo. But right now the algo wins for little channels like mine. So, yeah. Anyways, also let's talk about bullfighting. Bullfighting is coming back to Mexico. They were on basically like a 2-year hiatus. They were putting stops to it, which I completely agree with. I cannot stand bullfighting. I think it's awful. Fight me in the comments if you want. You just put a guy with a sword against a bull. The bull doesn't have these opposable thumbs. That's a problem. I like when the bull gets the bullfighter. Seems fair to me. But in this case, yeah, they're bringing it back in. Disgusting. We'll talk about it. Also, Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's, they've found, has been spreading. Strangely enough, I'll read the article about it. I'm not going to get too much into it, but apparently 5 different people contracted Alzheimer's, or whatever. Got it. They have it earlier than it would normally be expected to someone to get Alzheimer's, and they think it was some HGH treatments that they got when they were younger. Scary stuff, man. We're playing God here with medicines and weird stuff. So we'll talk about it. I don't know. talk about it. We'll see where we get to. Ole, buddy. Yeah, you know what? Me too, Joe. You and I that's it. We're friends with each other, and then that's it. Forget it. We don't need any other friends. I'm doing this live broadcast for you, buddy, and the intermittent video viewers that come in and out. Also, we're going to talk about a man that opened up an emergency door while the plane was delayed. What are you going to do? Apparently, the plane was delayed for 4 hours, and he opened the emergency door to get some fresh air. We'll talk about it. It's a funny little story. We won't talk very much about it. And also, a shipwreck appeared on the coast of Newfoundland. A shipwreck from like the 1800s. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Before we get into everything, if you are watching, or you do watch, or you sometimes watch, or you come around and you see that I'm here on Mondays, 7 o'clock, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you haven't already and you're watching all the time, you suck. I'm not afraid to say it. But if you are a subscriber and you like the show, do one of those all the time. Always hit those. Those always help the algo move this content around, right? I'm always fighting it. I talk about stuff that they don't like. And I say stuff live that they probably don't like. So, I don't watch my mouth as much as I maybe should. So, yeah. And share. Obviously, you beat everything by sharing. You just spread it around. There's nothing they can do about that. You're just going to spread it around. The only thing they can do is just cut the content. But they're not going to do that if it's not really breaking any of the rules. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, share. Those are the things you can do. Help a small channel if you like the content. If you don't, well, sorry. I apologize. All right. Cool. Let's get into the first things. Why not? Let's try and keep this thing under 45 minutes. Give me some more time to play Baldur's Gate. Let me find this. Let me transition over. There. So Taylor Swift is in the news for something other than her damn face appearing on every KC game. And KC's always winning. Damn Chiefs. Anyways, yeah. So there's some deepfakes going around about her on X. And now they've kind of throttled it down. But weird stuff. I'm going to read this article. This is the BBC. And we'll see what BBC has to say. I'm not a big fan of the BBC, but, it's they're part of the mainstream media. They're just UK's form of it. So, but here, let's see what they say. X blocks searches for Taylor Swift after explicit AI images of her go viral. In a statement to the BBC, X's head of business operations, Joe Bernero, I don't know, whatever, said it was a temporary action to prioritize safety. When searching for Swift on the site, a message appears that says something went wrong. Try reloading. Don't try reloading. You're just going to keep reloading because she not there. Fake graphic images of the singer appeared on the site earlier this week. Some went viral and were viewed millions of times, prompting alarm from U.S. officials and fans of the singer. Posts and accounts sharing the fake images were flagged by her fans, who populated the platform with real images and videos of her using the words "Protect Taylor Swift." The photos prompted X, former Twitter, to release a statement on Friday saying that posting non-consensual nudity on the platform is strictly prohibited. Well, that's a good thing you posted that because people are still doing it anyway, but free speech, man. We have zero tolerance policy towards such content. The statement said, our teams are actively removing all identified images and taking appropriate actions against the accounts responsible for posting them. It is unclear when X began blocking searches for Swift on the site, whether the site has blocked searches for other public figures or terms in the past. In his email to the BBC, Mr. Benarock said the action is done with an abundance of caution as we prioritize safety on this issue. The issue caught the attention of the White House, of course it did, who on Friday called the spread of AI-generated photos alarming. We know that lax enforcement disproportionately impacts women, and they also impact girls, sadly, who are the overwhelming targets, said White House Press Secretary Dumpster Fire Karine Jean-Pierre during a briefing. I added one part of that. Yeah, of course that's what they said. Obviously. Lax enforcement. You're saying lax enforcement to try and, disparage against X and its new form of not policing one side over the other. So, whatever. That's just coming from a turd. That's the comments of a turd, and they just smell shitty. So let's not even worry about that. She added that there should be legislation to tackle the misuse of AI technology on social media, and that platforms should also take their own steps to ban such content on their sites. Well, okay. Thanks, Tips. We believe they have an important role to play in enforcing their own rules to prevent the spread of misinformation and non-consensual, intimate imagery of real people. U.S. politicians have also called for new laws to criminalize the creation of deepfake images. I agree with that. I think if it's found that you're doing that kind of thing, you should get in some trouble for that, especially if it's used for, nefarious purposes, we'll say. It's not, silly. Like, you should have to disclose. There should be a watermark or something on there saying this is an AI generated image or whatever, right? Deepfakes use artificial intelligence to make a video of someone by manipulating their face or body. A study in 2023 found that there has been a 550% rise in the creation of doctored images since 2019, fueled by the emergence of AI. There are currently no federal laws against the sharing or creation of deepfake images, though there have been moves in state level to tackle the issue. In the UK, the sharing of deepfake pornography became illegal as part of the Online Safety Act in 2023. Okay, so poor Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay got some problems. And it's not, whether it's good lighting or not at the KC games, or how she looks that way, or if people are getting really sick of her. I don't know. That's kind of funny to me, but if there were deep fakes of me online, doing lewd and crude stuff, even if it was with boys and stuff, I don't care. Like, not boys, like, let's be real what I'm saying here. 18 and above men. If it's that kind of stuff, I don't care. Whatever. That'd be funny. I'd laugh. But especially when you're that big of a personality in general, I think you've got to understand that there's a massive target on you anyway, and that you should have a pretty thick skin about what people are doing and stuff in relation to you. And I don't know, just laugh it off. But I do agree that there needs to be something done. This is kind of becoming the Wild West show of deepfakes online. All right. What are you saying, Joe? How many channels can say they have 100% like rate? I don't think any. I do have a high like rate on certain things because I don't get a lot of views. So it's like, in relation, sometimes it's pretty high. Although I had a good video that last week at Seinfeld video is doing pretty good. I think it's got almost 2,000 views on it. So, sometimes if I speak about the right stuff that, isn't throttled down, it does all right. So that's why it doesn't make any sense for me with a small channel like this to talk about too provocative of stuff, especially on the video clip stuff. Like right now when I'm just riffing in the middle on the live broadcast, whatever. I kind of say some stuff. If I say the wrong thing and they do something, I've got one strike on the channel. This is like a year and a half ago or something. I blame Tyler for that one. And whatever. I mean, if the live broadcast comes down, whatever. But it's the videos that drive the channel growth. So I have to be careful. So you'll notice I do the clips of each topic that I talk about, right? So it just doesn't make any sense if I get throttled down. I'll just be doing this for nothing. The growth is so stagnant at times that it just makes me wonder why the heck I'm even doing this. But then I got you, Joe. So you're here every week, and you're probably part of the reason why I come and do it. Like, you're definitely not part of the reason. Put it that way. Like, you're not a hindrance, buddy. You're helping. So, if you go away, shit, I might follow behind you. Yeah. Anyways. All right, let's carry on to the next thing. Let me find here. I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm all kerfuffled today. All right, here we go. So unfortunately, your former, I'm Canadian, so your former president, Donald Trump, is just getting sucked dry of his money. Here's another big, what do you call it, civil suit that was, a judgment against him for $83 million the other day for this woman that claims that he did some lewd stuff to her. And well, I mean, she was claiming the R word. I'm going to refrain from saying it. It's Starts with R, has an ape in the middle, and sometimes has a D on the end, or in between. Oh, I'm the worst. I'm sorry. What? I couldn't resist. But yeah, he's been hit again. So I'm gonna read this article. This is Forbes. Forbes, when it comes to money stuff, they're okay. They kind of take a middle ground on this kind of stuff. So this article is not so bad. So here we go. Trump could owe more than $400 million after court rulings this week. Here's what to know about his finances. Okay, a jury ordered former President Donald Trump to pay $83.3 million to writer E. John Carroll on Friday ahead of an anticipated verdict in his civil fraud trial that could sentence him to pay out $370 million as soon as this week, potentially dealing a significant blow to the billionaire's finances. Trump was ordered to pay Carroll for defaming her in 2019 after she accused him of sexually assaulting her decades earlier, with a jury ruling he must pay $18.3 million in compensatory damages for the statements plus an additional $65 million in punitive damages meant to deter him from defaming her again in the future. Wow. Like, holy crap. It's just, when they say that, it's meant to deter. It's these giant civil judgments are just ridiculous. But okay, let's carry on. I mean, he's got billions, so you just it's no big deal. Just take what's a couple $100 million between friends. New York State Judge Arthur Engoron could issue a verdict this week in the New York Attorney General's civil case accusing Trump and his business associates of fraudulently inflating valuations on financial statements for personal gain, in which Attorney General Letitia James wants. I hate when these ads do this. It's screwing me up reading this thing. Letitia James wants Engoron to order Trump and his co-defendants to pay $370 million plus interest. Trump and the companies he controls will be on the hook for most of that payment, though approximately $10.5 million will be owed by Trump's sons Eric and Donald Trump Jr. and co-defendants Alan Weisselberg and Trump's organization's former CFO, or the Trump former CFO, and former controller Jeffrey McConney. What the? Ugh. Let me stop myself from reading. I can't read. Forbes has estimated Trump's net worth at $2.6 billion as of September 2023, much of which is based on his real estate assets through the Trump Organization. Trump only has an estimated $426 million in cash and liquid assets that would presumably be used for his court payments, part of an estimated $640 million in personal assets that also includes his personal homes, pensions, private aircraft, loans to his children, and an estimated $3 million in cryptocurrency. I love that. Loans to his children. That's put in there. That's just a way around tax loopholes and stuff. Trump has personally claimed to be even more, or have even more money, saying in a disposition in James's case, he has substantially in excess of $400 million in cash. He's just got to just shut up, man. Don't tell him you got more money. It's like somebody's coming in to rob you at gunpoint, and you're like, "Hey, give me all your money." And you like give him $1,000, and you're like, "Oh, wait, well, I got so much more money in my house. Like, if you came to my house, okay, cool, we'll extort you there too." But yeah, Trump can't help himself. And that amount is going up very substantially every month, and claiming on Truth Social Sunday he is worth much more than the numbers shown on my financial statements at issue in the fraud case. It's unclear when Engoron's verdict will be issued in the civil fraud case, though the judge has said he aims to issue a ruling by the end of January, meaning it's likely to come out this week. Trump has repeatedly attacked the judge and accused Engoron of being biased against him, though it still remains to be seen how the judge can rule and how much Trump will be ordered to pay. This article goes on for a little while, talking about these allegations that were made against him. It's just what I find funny. I don't think I read the rest of it, but what I find funny about it is the timing. Of course, it's always the timing of this kind of stuff. So this happened, allegedly happened in the 90s. Suddenly now, he's coming up for re-election, and that's when it comes out. And these massive civil suits are like judgments against him. Civil suits are a joke. Anyway, it's just like realistically, it's just going after money because you don't have anything criminally. So what do? You just go after him monetarily now. You can't prove criminal, negligence or criminal intent or any of that kind of stuff. So you just go after somebody for their money. I'm not saying, listen, I'm a middle ground guy. I'm not saying that Trump is squeaky clean and that, that he hasn't maybe done some things that are a little weird. the past and, maybe take some liberties with women and stuff like that. But I personally I find it highly unlikely that there was the R ape with the D involved in this situation. So I think it was, I think this is just like they all are. This is kind of extortion. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. All right. What are you going to say there, Joe? Well, Trump thing is a bad joke. Not found guilty of R8, but fine because he said he's not guilty. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny because a lot of it actually was the defamation is related to him saying that he didn't do it. And because I think he said something like she's not his type or something like that, and she called defamation. How the flip do you call defamation on that? You're not my type. Oh, you've defamed me. It's just the whole thing is obvious. It's very obvious to us watching. Anybody who's not, doesn't have Trump derangement syndrome. It's very obvious that we understand what this is. It's a big shakedown. You try and get all the money out of a guy, and then you take away his ability or his means to run his own campaign or himself, right? Or just bog him down so much with this kind of stuff, or it's just or it's just a kind of an evil way to just punish somebody that you don't like. Just keep hitting him the money bone. So I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just it makes me sick, and I just wish I wish we had a fair system and everything was on the up and up, but it doesn't seem that way at all. But all right, let me get on to the next thing here. Okay. So, Big Pharma, I'm going to go back to this. Big Pharma is actually being forced to cut their prices on some of their more popular medicines out there, which is great. It's a big move in the right direction from a inept government at this point. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully it's real. Anything where it comes to do, anything when it has to deal with Big Pharma and the government, I think that it's the same. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't know. Anyways, let me read this article from Reuters. This talks about it. We'll see what it has to say, and then we'll discuss. So, pharma price cut proposals from U.S. government could be steep, analysts say. Pharmaceutical companies are due to receive by Thursday the U.S. government's opening proposal for what are expected to be significant discounts on 10 of its high-cost medicines, an important step in the Medicare health program's first ever price negotiations. Why is my nose so itchy? I must be telling lies. 5 Wall Street analysts and 2 investors told Reuters they expect the negotiations over prices that will go into effect in 2026 to result in cuts ranging from the statutory minimum of 25% to as much as 60% when the final numbers are set in September. It's kind of funny though, because if you got a drug or medicine, I should say, that costs like $200 a dose, and you're knocking 60% off that, that's still $140 for that. Or sorry, 60%, $80 for that, or whatever it is. Fast math. It's still a significant amount, is what I'm trying to say, for that medicine. So I mean, it's nice that they're knocking that cost off, but these medicines are unbelievable. The price of some of them, especially stuff that people need, like insulin and blood pressure medication, things like that. This isn't elective stuff. This is stuff that it's not like somebody's going, oh, I'd love to go get myself some insulin just because. So, anyways. The drug makers and the government are expected to wait until then to disclose them. President Joe Biden's signature Inflation Reduction Act, signed into law last year, allows Medicare, which covers 66 million Americans, mostly age 65 and older, to negotiate prices for some of its most costly drugs. The price cuts will impact how much government pays for the drugs, as it aims to save $25 million per year by 2031. It could also save money for consumers who pay a portion of a drug's cost under their Medicare plans. There's no way to really predict exactly what the discounts will be, so we just assume they're going to be very high, said Andy Aker, a portfolio manager for healthcare and biotech at Janus Henderson. Thanks for that very poignant comment there, buddy. The first 10 drugs include Bristol Myers. Let me read down here, actually. There's a list right here. So we got Eliquis, probably heard, for blood blood clotting, that's from Pfizer. Jardiance for diabetes from Boehringer Ingelheim. Xarelto, blood clotting again, Johnson & Johnson. Januvia, which is diabetes from Merck. Farxiga, I've never heard of that one, for diabetes as well. That's AstraZeneca. Entresto for heart failure. That's Novartis. Enbrel, which is autoimmune conditions. That's Amgen. Imbruvica for cancer. That seems important. That's AbbVie. Never even heard of that. I guess Johnson & Johnson. It must be a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson there. Stelara, which is psoriasis and arthritis. That's Johnson & Johnson as well. And then insulin aspart, which is for diabetes, obviously. That's Novo Nordisk. So, I'm not going to read the rest of this article, but you get the gist. They're going to start to do something they should have done a long, long time ago. If you're one of these people that have to buy these medicines and you live in the U.S., you'll know that the prices are ridiculous. And I feel for you. I'm up here in Canada and we're a little different. So our prices are quite a bit lower considering, and I know a lot of you U.S. patrons come up here and you buy medicines, which I'm cool with, whatever you can do. But this will be nice if you can get a break in-house or in-country, I should say. That'd be nice. All right. Why is my nose so fucking itchy? This is brutal. All right. Let's get on to the next thing here. These topics I'm not all that interested in. This one bugs me. So I guess I'm kind of interested in this one. Okay, so bullfighting is coming back to Mexico after a 2-year hiatus. That hiatus couldn't have been long enough, if you ask me. This is a disgusting thing. I hate it. I hate watching these guys stab bulls. Bullshit. The bulls probably do shit. Sadly enough. Ugh, awful. I can't believe I say stuff like this. It's just stop me. I'm going to read this article from CNN. This is CNN World. Garbage. But let's see what they have to say. Return of bullfighting met by protests in Mexico City. Animal rights activists took to the streets of Mexico City on Sunday to protest the return of bullfighting to the capital after almost 2 years. Torture is not art. It is not culture, and yes to bulls, not to bullfighting, were among the chants heard near Plaza, Mexico, a 42,000 capacity bull ring thought to be the largest in the world. Oh, that's awful. 42,000 people to watch that shit. Mexican animal rights group PASDEM posted a series of videos on the protests on X, including one highlighting that the torture of innocent living beings is about to start. The bullfight was the first in almost 2 years, according to the Plaza Mexico Facebook account, which celebrated the return of the bulls in a series of posts. Bullfighting is more alive than ever, and our fans are making the most of an enjoyable family atmosphere. That's kind of hilarious. An enjoyable family atmosphere. Hey, kids, what do you want to do on Saturday? Let's go watch bulls get stabbed to death. Oh, yeah, cool. That sounds good. What a family outing. Bullfighting was suspended in 2022 as part of a long-running legal case. Oh, by the way, you're lucky I didn't throw a bad Mexican accent in there. I thought about it, but then I thought differently of it. But in December, Mexico's Supreme Court ruled that the events could take place once more, according to Reuters. 6 bulls were fought during Sunday's event, during which the ring was emblazoned with the word libertad, freedom in Spanish. So obviously 6 bulls were fought and 6 bulls died. That's rough. Hopefully people are at least eating them. Once the gates of the bull ring, riot police lined the streets as black-clad protesters tried to break through fences and shouted at attendees in front of walls spray-painted with anti-bullfighting slogans. Bullfighting has taken place in Mexico for centuries, but in recent years, opposition to the practice has grown. In 2013, Sonora State became the first of Mexico's 32 states to ban bullfighting, and a total of 4 states have now done so. In December, President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, is that 2 people or is that 1 person? Said he would explore the possibility of holding a referendum on the future of bullfighting in the Mexican capital. 7 other countries around the world also hold bullfights: Ecuador, Spain, Colombia, France, Peru, Portugal, and Venezuela. I didn't know France and Portugal, to be honest. That is a surprise to me. I knew all South America. I didn't know Portugal. I can see because it's a lot of the Portuguese down in South America, but France, that's surprising. What do you think about this? This is awful. This bullfighting. We're in 2024. I have to think about it sometimes. Is bullfighting still a thing? Are bulls still a problem? Are we still needing to sword up and get them? Man, you think they'd learn the vulnerabilities of the red flag? Stop following the damn red flag. Come on. It leads to a sword. Ugh, hopefully this thing goes away. This is awful. If my nose would go away, I'm just gonna yank it off. It's so itchy right now. I don't get it. What's going on? Maybe they're telling lies. I think that's one of the things with your nose being itchy. I do cocaine a lot, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe in my sleep. Or there's going to be a fool busting through the door in a minute and give me a nice big smooch. Let me see if I can just itch this thing into oblivion before the next segment. Ugh. What are you saying, Joe? Yeah. You need those meds? Oh, do you actually need those meds? Are you diabetic? I have a few friends that are diabetics. Yeah, Viagra or Cialis. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if those are expensive, whatever, that's on you. Unless you need them. If you really need them, that's different. But I know a lot of people take those for fun. They lead to fun. So, no, I understand. Listen, I understand. I have a younger girlfriend as well. And younger girlfriends, they want a little more. I'm 45, just so the doxers don't have to dox me. I'm 45, so yeah. I think something happens to a man when we start to get into our 40s. We go into our 40s and then the starts to taper off. It's whatever. It's what it is. Depends. Kind of depends on lifestyle and health and all that kind of stuff. But if you do need the Cialis and the Viagra, I hope they bring those prices down for you, buddy. All right. What did you say? Yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next thing here. I'm gonna just blast through. This is number 5, so I got 7 topics today. Not that all 7 matter, but let's get on to the next one here. Okay, so it looks like Alzheimer's might be coming from other ways other than being hereditary. We did it. We're doing it to ourselves. I'll read this article here. Who is this? This is Science News talking about Alzheimer's coming from a different source. So, under very rare conditions, Alzheimer's disease may be transmitted. That would be scary. Under extremely rare circumstances, it appears that Alzheimer's disease can be transmitted between people. 5 people who received contaminated injections of a human growth hormone as children went on to develop Alzheimer's unusually early, researchers report January 29th in Nature Medicine. The findings represent the first time iatrogenic, hopefully I'm reading that correctly, seems right, iatrogenic Alzheimer's disease has been described. Neurologist John Kaling said January 25 in a news briefing, referring to a disease caused by a medical procedure. That sounds alarming, but researchers are quick to emphasize that Alzheimer's disease is not contagious in everyday life, including caretaking in most medical settings. We are not suggesting for a moment that you can catch Alzheimer's disease, said Kaling of the University College London's Institute of Prion Diseases. This is not transmittable in the sense of a viral or bacterial infection. The reassurance is echoed by Carlo Condello, a neurobiologist at the University of California, San Francisco, who wasn't involved in the study. In no way do we believe sporadic Alzheimer's disease is a communicable disease, he says. Only under incredibly artificial, now out-of-date medical practices is disappearing. It's no longer an issue. Okay, well, that's nice to know. Hopefully they can do something about itchy noses. But just sad for the people that are getting it, from an old procedure. But this is when we start trying to play God like this, when we start messing around with all these different medical procedures and stuff. This is human growth hormone. Now, I don't know if these people needed them as a kid. I'm guessing if they're giving HGH to children, it must be because something's going on pretty poorly with their thyroid and they're not developing correctly, which, again, is very sad if that's happening and then causing Alzheimer's, early onset Alzheimer's in someone who wasn't hereditarily likely going to get it. But Most cases of Alzheimer's disease arise spontaneously in older people. In the United States, for instance, about 1 in 9 people age 65 and older have the disease. Oh my God, that's higher than I thought. That's part of what makes these newly described cases of Alzheimer's so unusual. Symptoms started early for these 5 people with Alzheimer's between ages 38 and 55. Wow. And in 3 of for whom genetic data were available, researchers ruled out the presence of mutations known to cause early onset forms of the disease. Yeah, so the people in the study had all received growth hormone injections as children or teenagers, used to treat various growth disorders. These hormones were extracted from the pituitary glands of cadavers and combined into batches, a source that is no longer used. Yeah, I think now they just actually, they homegrown make them in labs. They don't have to take them from cadavers. Some of these mixtures were later found to be contaminated with prions, infectious misshapen proteins that cause a disease called whatever, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, named after Creutzfeldt and Jacob. You need a different partner, Jacob. How about Chad and Jacob? Whatever. Globally, more than 200 people were affected. This type of growth hormones treatment stopped in 1985. Doctors now use synthetic versions. Exactly, like I said, they just make them. Okay. Anyways, more to this article. It goes on for a little bit. So yeah, I think the point is when you're messing around, sometimes stuff happens, especially when you're messing around with health. Now, in this case, this is one of those awful things where it's, what are you going to do? You're going to not intervene, and then you're going to have people that are, whatever. I don't know. I was going to make a joke there, but I don't want to make a joke. I was going to make like a genetic joke. Genetic deformities and short people and all that kind of stuff. You're going to get people that just aren't growing correctly and that. So yeah, I do feel for them. And if you have, you have human growth hormone that can help them and stuff, great. But in this case, not so great. I guess if you told them, hey, look, listen, you'll get like 25 years of good life, but then Alzheimer's is coming to you, they probably would have said no. Just saying. All right. Yeah, I know. I should do coke before the show. You imagine what kind of energy I'd have if I did? I'd be like hopping around. I'd just be running around. So I'll tell you a little fun fact. When we used to do the show, when Tyler and I used to do the show, we started here. This is my place, but this is kind of like my little poker room. It's my poker game area. You see, I've got a bar behind me, TV. It all originated here, and it kind of just changed as I went along. But at first, he didn't like the fact that we were sitting because he said our energy was a little low. So he said we should stand. So I made like these stilts for the table that we were using. I made the table up nice and high, and we would stand. And then we tried doing like caffeine shots before the broadcast to try and get our energy up. You know what? I don't know. Gimmick didn't work. We're just talking. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna be all hopped up talking? You just gotta kind of be not tired, I guess, and interested in what you're talking about, or just make jokes. And that's part of the problem with some of the topics and why I won't talk about them. Like there's a few topics that were going on, especially the war stuff. I don't really want to talk about that stuff anymore. It's just Debbie Downer stuff, and it's everywhere. But it's hard to keep yourself high energy if you're talking about that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about Tay-Tay and you make jokes, or you can make like inappropriate jokes about the R-aped, that's, I guess, I don't know, that keeps me alive enough, I suppose. All right. Hold on. Let me just get out of the camera. I'm scratching my nose a lot over here. Ugh. Okay. There we go. All right. I didn't do a line right over here. That'd be kind of funny if I did. All right. Let me just get on the next thing here. These ones are going to be quick anyway. Hold on. Let me just set this one up better. This is what's up? What's this? Get out of here. USA Today. Garbage. So when planes are delayed, sometimes people open the emergency doors. That's what this guy did. He just decided, you know what? 4 hours is long enough. I'm going to open the damn door. I'll read this article here. This is USA Today. Dumpster fire. And they're trying to sell themselves. Look at this, eh? $1 for a year to subscribe to USA Today, because nobody wants your stuff. but I'm going to read it anyway for free. I didn't pay for it. So, man opens emergency exit door on plane, walks out onto the wing before takeoff. Man was taken into custody by police after airport officials say he opened an Aeromexico plane's emergency exit door and walked out onto the wing on a Central American bound flight late last week. Passengers claim this is written bad. Passengers claim it because this is why nobody wants your garbage stuff. Let me just put the right words in here. Passengers claim it was because they were delayed for hours and needed help. Mexico City International Airport acknowledged in a statement the wild display took place Thursday morning while the plane was on the ground awaiting takeoff to Guatemala. According to the airport's statement posted on social media, the man posed on a wing. He was out there. Here I am. Posed on a wing and re-entered the cabin without any harm to anyone or the aircraft. Due to international security regulations, the airport reported the man was put at the disposal of the authorities. I don't know what that means. Beat him up, maybe? Okay, so according to the post circulating on social media, passengers on board claimed they were kept on the tarmac for hours without proper ventilation or water during a flight delay. The delay and lack of air created conditions that endangered the health of the passengers. He saved our lives, passengers wrote in a letter translated from Spanish. The emergency exit was opened out of desperation after leaving us locked in for almost 4 hours without ventilation and without water. Well, the ventilation thing, that's baloney. They're constantly ventilating, but still, I mean, I can imagine 4 hours on a plane. Ugh. One person who claimed to be on board wrote in the caption the next blah, blah, blah. Okay. The same passenger wrote the plane's doors were closed, passengers were without information, and there were elderly ladies on the verge of fainting. According to an incident report filed with airport officials, the Associated Press reported passengers were unhappy, and one of them opened the emergency door and stepped out onto the wing. This event required the plane to be changed. What they don't realize is that's the thing. Because once that emergency door gets open, bang, now they have to get everybody off the plane. They have to check the plane, make sure for aviation safety rules, they have to make sure that the plane is safe now to fly. So it's not as simple as he opened the door and then just reclose the door. It's not that simple. I get it, though. In this case, I get it. You're going to leave people, there should be a rule. If you're going to leave people delayed in a plane on the tarmac for more than 2 hours, you can open that security door. No problem. No questions asked. No beatings from the police. From the sounds of it, that's probably what happened to this guy. All right. What are you saying here, buddy? Yeah, exactly. The story is funny. It was I mean, if I'm on that plane and the guy just opens the emergency door, I'm going to clap. I'm going to be like, I hope you don't get a $50,000 fine, because that's apparently what it is. If you open that emergency door, they can fine you some. I think it's up to $50,000. That'd be a hefty fine. But again, I mean, that's pretty flipping ridiculous. You're gonna leave people just sit on a plane. I've been delayed on a plane. I think the longest was about 90 minutes or something like that. I can't remember where I was, but yeah. Anyways, it was. I don't know. They did something. Something was wrong. Like I think it was icy conditions on the one runway or something like that, and we were parked over off to the side, and they had to shuttle a few of the other planes, or I don't know what it was. But either way, it was a long time, and 90 minutes felt like an eternity. So I can imagine 4 hours on a stuffy plane with a bunch of whiners. So good on him, man. All right, let me get on the next one here. So they found a shipwreck from the 1800s just mysteriously on the coast of Newfoundland. Nothing to see here. Just sitting on the coastline. Nobody found it before. It's just there. Neat stuff. I'm going to read this article here. This is, who is this? This is The Guardian about this shipwreck here. Okay. So let's find out. Shipwreck mysteriously appears on Newfoundland coast. A coastal community in Newfoundland. Newfoundland, by the way, if you don't know where that is, that's up here in Canada. It's one of the very small provinces we have. Well, it's not actually that small, but it's one of our eastern provinces. A coastal community in Newfoundland has been left baffled and excited by the sudden and unexplained appearance of a centuries-old shipwreck on the sands of a nearby shore. Gordon Blackmore, a local resident, was hunting seabirds on the sandy shores of Cape Ray when he spotted a dark shadow under the turbid waters. It had not been there when he visited the spot just a few days earlier. He rushed back into the family home, shouting about the discovery. Come on, man, your editors are awful. You can't get rid of two abouts in a thing here. Shouting about the discovery. Like maybe that's what they were saying. He was shouting about the discovery. His mother told the Canadian press she grabbed her jacket and hurried to the beach to see it for herself. It's amazing. There's no other word for it. Cape Ray, a community of 350 on the southwest coast of Newfoundland, shares a common history with an island known as the Rock. It is the final resting site of at least 8 ships that fell victim to hostile weather, poor navigation, or plain bad luck. But what makes the latest discovery so unique is the unexplained nature of the wreck's sudden appearance. Neil Burgess, president of the Shipwreck Preservation Society of Newfoundland and Labrador, suspects the ship was freed by a combination of coastal erosion and the force of post-tropical storm Fiona, which destroyed homes in the region last year. Large ocean swells last week may finally have nudged the wreck free, pushing it towards the shore. This is perfect, he said. This is a great event. That would be neat. Imagine if you were a diver and now you got, like, you don't have to dive. Look how close that is to if you can see it from the picture. I mean, probably fairly small especially if you're watching on like a phone. But you can see this ship is probably, I don't know. It's in a shallow enough water that you can either just probably touch your feet or just barely not touch your feet. It's close out there. It's not very far out. So that'd be awesome if you're a diver like that. And this ship, let me see here. I'm going to read the rest of it. This is, okay. Photographs of the wreck on social media, a pile of soggy wood beams and planks has given some clues into the ship's origins. Wooden dowels and copper pegs were commonly used in the 1800s, and the size at least 24 meters. So, for all you Americanos who don't know what a meter is basically a yard. So, we've got basically 70 feet or so. It's a big ship. Suggests the vessel was larger than a schooner. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, good enough. Anyways, yeah, so ships are appearing off coastlines. That's pretty darn cool. If I lived in Newfoundland, that's where the Newfies come from, I would go see this thing, but sadly I don't. I'm sure this will probably be a nice little, tourist attraction for these 350 locals. So big things coming for the, what's this place called there? Cape Ray. Big things coming, Cape Ray. Look for a big spike in your tourism market. Okay. What's that doing? All right. Yeah. Well, if you don't have 50 grand, buddy, you're not paying for opening up emergency hatches. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it, man. That's it. We're at 48 minutes, and you're still at work. Hopefully, you're not too busy, and I'm getting crushed over there. I'm gonna get some thumbnails done for videos, get them all set up to go for the week, and then I'm gonna go play some Baldur's Gate 3 because I deserve it. Because I've been a good boy. If you've been watching, if you're some of the subsequent or whatever, call it intermittent video or intermittent viewers, I should say, of the channel while it was on, thanks for watching. If you're currently watching and you're not subscribed, just subscribe. You don't have a limit to subscribers, just subscribe. And tell all your friends too, even if they don't like the channel. Just kidding. But share the channel with people you think might like it. You know, subscribe, obviously. Like, comment, all that stuff. It just helps the channel. I'm not asking you for any money yet. Until I get big enough to maybe get a Patreon account going, then I'll start asking for some money. I'll give it back. But, you know, whatever. Anyways, for now, I don't charge anything. I just do this. This is by the goodness of my heart that I bring you all this news of shit you probably wouldn't even know of. And yeah, if you did catch this broadcast at all, thanks. If you didn't, well, you can get all little pieces through the week. Tuesday through sometimes all the way to Monday, I do little pieces. I just put them in little pieces. So you get each segment, and I'll drop them at 5 o'clock. And then you'll see that I've been scratching my nose this whole time because I don't know. When I'm done on here, I'm gonna get up in there with tools and things, and I'm gonna tear it up. I'm gonna have a broken nose by the end of this situation. It's so itchy. I don't know what's going on. I must be allergic to something. Anyways, so yeah, check me out. 5 o'clock, like those, or share them, all that stuff. Comment. The comments help. I respond to every comment. Even if it's a stupid comment, I'll respond to your comment. Even if you don't like me, comment anyway. I like it. It's fine. I get jokes, especially if you're making fun of me or something. I find those quite funny, especially if they're good. If they're just stupid, I feel sorry for you. But if they're funny comments, they're making fun of me, then I usually respond and giggle. So you'll know that you've made me giggle. If I put a little smiling face or a little laughing face in the comment, chances are I laughed at your comment, or I'll say that was hilarious. Either way, but yeah, the joke's on you if you think the comments hurt me. They're actually helping me. So do that some more. So thanks. Let me just change this thing so you can see my stupid face bigger. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being there. Thanks, Joe. As always, you're here with me. Enjoy the rest of your day at work there, everybody. We'll see everybody next week, 7 o'clock. Yeah. I don't think nothing's going on. So the following week, there might be a problem, but next week, no problem. So I'll see you next week, 7 o'clock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.